Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Destiny and welcome back to my channel. So in the last video, we went ahead and made everything that we need to get our profile page up and running. And to this extent, we can add a profile for a user from the back end. So we could just come over to /admin, and over here we can click on profile. Now we can add a new profile to a new user, and when we create a new user, it automatically creates a profile for them and automatically uploads a profile picture for them. So from here now we can add the profile, add the bio, we can add a phone number, whatever, and hit save. So that's what got us to this place. Now we have emails, we have phone numbers, we have profile pictures, we have our names, we have our bio and all that. So in this one, we want to go ahead and start updating the profile page. So let's say you want to change your username, or you want to change your bio or your email or your phone number, or let's say you want to change the profile picture. So how do you do it? That's what we'll be doing in this video. Before we go ahead and get started, make sure to drop a like on this video and consider subscribing, as it really means the world to me. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we want to do is come over here and let's open up our projects folder. Let's open up the stack users folder, and we want to come over to forms.py. So let's just come over to forms.py, and what we want to do here is very easy. We're just going to create a class that's going to help us update the user profile. So we're going to say user update form. So we're going to use this one to update the user's form, and this is going to inherit from forms.model form. So let me make sure I'm getting that, forms.model form, and there should be a colon at the back over there. So now the first thing we need is email. So we want to edit the email. So you remember when we wanted to add an extra email field, we did this over here that helps us pass in an extra email field, then we called it over here. So that's exactly the same thing that we want to do. So let's go ahead and say email, and we're going to set this to forms.email field. So forms.email field, and that's pretty much all we need in there. Now the next thing I'm going to call is class meta. So I'm going to call, let's just come down here and call class, and I'm going to call meta, and let's set this just like that. Now we're going to set model to user. So we're going to set model to user, and also we need some fields. So let's say I can just copy this over here. Let me just copy this, and I'm going to put it down here. But this time around, I don't need password 1 and password 2. So I'm just going to get rid of password 1 and password 2, just like this. So with this now, I think that's pretty much what we need to do. We also need to update the profile. For example, we need to update the profile picture. And how do we do that? We need to update the profile picture, the bio, the email, and the phone number. So how do we do that? Now we have to create its own class for it. So we're going to just come down here and we're going to say profile update form. So profile update form, and we're going to pass in forms.model form, just like that, and there should be a colon at the back. So after this now, what we just need to do is define a class meta, and the next thing we're going to do is pass in profile model equal to profile. So model equal to profile simply means that we want to interact with the profile model that's over here. So let me just open it up. It simply means we want to interact with this profile model that has user, bio, phone, and image, that has all this information stored in it. We want to interact with it, so that's why we are putting that down there. And the next thing we need is also fields. So we need fields, and this fields we are gonna set the first one to, let's say, firstly we want to update the bio, and secondly, let's say we want to update the phone. Let me make sure I'm spelling that right. So phone, and lastly, let's make sure we want to update the image. The image. So after this, I just hope the model is being imported. So let's just make sure we are importing this model from .models. We want to import profile, just like that. So everything should work perfectly well now. Now all we have to do is just get back to our views.py file. So let's just open up our views.py, and over here, as you can see, we do not have anything here now in our profile function. So what we want to do is just define a new function. But before we do that, let's import all these things, this class user update form and this class profile update form. Let's import it in our views.py because we've been making use of it. So what we want to do is say from .forms, we want to import profile update form, and we also want to import user update form, just like that. Now we want to create a new function though. So this function is going to be the one that's going to help us update our profile. So we're going to say profile underscore update, and we're simply going to pass in a request a request in there, a request function in there. Now the next thing we're going to do is pretty easy. We're just going to call u_form. So it's a variable, and we want to set this u_form to the user update form. So I want you guys to understand what's going on here. This u form simply stands for user update form, but I'm just shortening it to u form variable. You can name this whatever you want. So I want to set this to user update form. And why am I setting it to the user update form? That's because I want the user update form to update the username and the email. And this is it over here, user update form. Now, if we come over to our views.py, you will see that the user update form stores the email, stores the username too. So that's what I want to update. That's why I'm passing in the u_form. And also I want to pass in another one that will be called p_form. And if you can guess what it is, it's very easy. That's for the profile update form. So this one is going to update the phone number, the images, and the bio. Hopefully you understand what's going on. Then after this, the next thing I want to do is just define our context, and we're going to set this context to a dictionary. The first thing we need is u_form, and there's going to be a colon over there, and we're going to pass in u_form, and there should be a comma. Then we also need p_form in strings, p_form, and there should be a colon again, p_form, just like that. I think everything should be working perfectly well now. So finally, we're just gonna return render. So we're gonna return render and pass in the requests. We all know that is the Django way of returning templates and context in your template, like the way of passing a context to your template in Django. So we return render. Firstly, we pass in request. Secondly, we're gonna pass in the name of our template. So our template would also be living somewhere like this. To be living in somewhere like this. So we're just gonna copy that and put it in here. But this time around, it's gonna be profile_updates.html. And finally, you see this context variable that we defined over here. We're gonna pass it in our template form. And I know you might be like, what does this context over here does? So it's very easy. Now I want to access this user form and this profile form. I want to access it in my profile_updates.html so that I can edit the username, the email from this one, and I can edit the bio, the phone number, and the image from this one. So we need to access it in the templates, and that's why we are just passing it in here as a context. After we set all these informations in here to the context variable, then we'll pass it in here. Take note, you can name this whatever you want. Let's say you want to name it something like that, and all you have to do is just pass it in here like that, and everything is going to work fine. So it's not necessary that it must be a context word, something like that. So just make sure everything is looking like this. Now from here we can go ahead and do other things that we want to do. So I'm just going to copy let me just copy let's say the register.html. Yeah, let's just say I want to copy everything in the register.html, and I'm going to create a new file over here, and we're going to name it profile_updates.html because that's what we named it in our views over here. This is what we named it, so that's why we named it profile_update. If for any reason it's profile-update, make sure you are updating this to profile-update. But for now, I'm just going to stick with profile_update. So I copied everything from the register, and I'm going to paste it in the profile update, just like this. But if you don't even want to copy everything, I told you guys that we have all this template already built out for you. So over here, and when we come over to stack users, you'll see that we have profile_update. So it's still the same thing. Let me just open this up and let's grab the source code. So I'm just going to open up the source code and let's grab it and let's paste it in here. Okay, just like that, we'll paste it in there. Now the other things that we need is just a URL. So we also need a URL to go to this place. Now how do we do that? Let's just open up our urls.py. Let me look for it. It should be in our stack prj over here. It should be in urls.py. So you remember we had two URLs, but this one over here is the main URL. So below the profile section, that's where we're just gonna add a new part, and this part now is gonna be when a user go to profile/update, then / that's when we want to show them the profile update form. So we want to make sure that we are saying user views dot profile update. So user_views dot profile updates, just like that. And the last thing we're going to pass in is a name so that we can reference it wherever we want. So we're just going to say profile underscore update, just like that. This is a pattern name if you don't know yet already. So with this now, I think we are pretty much done. Let's just come over here and refresh. Come over here and say /update. Okay, what do you get? It says model form has no model class specified, and let's see the error is coming from here. So it says uform is equal to this and pform is equal to this. Okay, let's see what is actually going on. And all we have to do is just come over to our forms.py, and there is a typo over here. Instead of model, it was models. So we just remove one of the s, and let's come over here and refresh. And okay, as you can see, it's working now, but we are getting this crispy error. So it says invalid filter crispy. Now let's go and see what's going on over there. In the profile, that's HTML, I think we need to also wrap everything here, just like we were doing in this register page. So we're just going to copy everything from the register page, and we're going to paste them in here like that. So now let's refresh this and see what we have. So we refresh it, we still have the sign up and sign in. So that's pretty much why I wanted to copy everything from in here. So we're going to copy everything from in there like that. And I'm just going to get rid of every other thing that's in this profile dot underscore updates.html. I'm going to paste my own. So when I refresh this now, okay, this is pretty much what I want. But right now we don't have any field to actually help us render things. So as you can see, there is a comment over here that shows the u form that's crispy and the p form that's crispy. So that's pretty much what we need to do. We need to say u underscore form, and now when we refresh this, let's refresh again. As you can see now, it has the username and the email, and we also need to add another one. If you remember, it was called p underscore form. That's gonna hold the bio and the other things. So now you can see bio, we can see phone, we can see image, and we can now choose file and update. So but this is not looking good at all. We need to fix up some things. So all we need to do is come over to the front of this and call pipe crispy, and again we need to call a pipe then crispy, just like that. So when we refresh this now, not really looking bad. It's just made everything stay on a straight line. We are still gonna fix the styling later in this video. So for now, let's go ahead and change up some things. Let's try. Okay, you see our username isn't still showing up yet, and we want those to show up. Let's go ahead and fix it. And let's see. Okay, so all we have to do is come over here. Let's come over to username, and let's pick a new username. Let's say Destiny with a double Y, and we want to pick a new email with a new bio, and let's just add a new phone number, something like that. And we're going to choose a new profile picture. So now when we hit the update button, you see nothing actually happens. So we're getting this forbidden error because we do not have Django CSRF token installed here. So it's very easy. All we have to do is define a Django CSRF token immediately after we call our form. So we're going to open up double curly brackets with percentage signs in them, and we're going to say CSRF underscore token, just like that. And I want to get rid of this other things over here. Okay, so this is pretty much what we need. Now when we refresh this again, let's try updating our profile. Now actually nothing is still going to happen now because we don't have the functionality yet, but I just want to show you guys something. So we choose that, and let's clear this, choose this, and I want to take this one, and I want to take a new profile picture, hit open and update. So what you notice, it just refreshes the page, nothing happens. So now let's go and make the form field, this fields over here in the views.py, more functional. So how do we do that? The first thing we want to do is check if the request.method that was used is post. So if the method that was used in the form over here is post, then we want to do something. So we need to come over here and say if request.method is equal to post So what do we want to do? That's when we want to pass in this tool form. Then we're going to render this tool form, and not only we're going to render the tool form, we want to also populate these forms with the existing user informations. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. For example, there was an existing username before the user want to update a new one, so we want to populate these fields with the existing information, so a user doesn't have to type out all the information again when they are updating their profile. For example, let's say the user just want to update his bio. He doesn't want to update the username or the email, but since we don't have these fields populated already, they are gonna end up filling up all the whole form field just to update their profile. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and work with that. Maybe you get a clearer picture of what I'm saying. The first thing I want to do is say request.post, just like that. And we also need to set instance is equal to request dot, this one should be, I think, request dot user. Okay, our server isn't running. Let's get back here. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, it says local variable uform referenced before assignment. Oh, so we still need to work with this first before we actually go ahead and start, like displaying all that we have. So I'm just going to copy this in here and I'm going to paste it over here, but I'm just going to add one more thing. So I'm going to say request.files. As easy as that. So there's request.post, there's request.files, and this instance is equal to request.user.profile. Before I forget, .profile. Okay, I think that's pretty much what we want to do. Now the next thing we want to do is check if these forms are valid. So we want to check like if all the information that was imputed in this form are valid. So the first thing we're going to say is if u_form dot is valid and p_form dot is valid, what do we want to do? So make sure you add a semicolon over there. What do we want to do? Firstly, let's just save the form. So we're going to say uform dot save. So uform dot save, I think, yeah, that's what we want to do. Then also want to say pform dot save, just like this. So now it's going to save those forms to our website. So I think that's pretty much what we want to do here, except from the fact that we should return a message dot success, and let's say something like your account was updated successfully. Let's say account updated successfully, just like that. And I think that should be okay. So the last thing we want to do is redirect to somewhere. So we are gonna say return redirect. And where do we want to redirect to? Let's just say we want to redirect to the profile page again. So we're going to redirect to the profile page, and that's pretty what we want to do. So if the method.post that was used, like if the request method that was used is equal to get, we want to do something else. And what is that? It's very easy. We just want to pass in these forms. So if it's get, we don't want to do anything much. We just want to pass in these forms, just like that. So I think that's pretty much what we want to do. Let's go ahead and open this up and let's try refreshing and see what's going on. Okay, we refresh this now. Let's try updating. We say Destiny 111. We come over to email. We add an email. We add a bio, and let's say we want to add a number, just like that. And let's say we want to add a new profile picture and click update. Okay, what do you notice? It successfully updates our profile, and as you can see, it says account updated successfully over here. This is just a one-time message, like to an alert. I already said that in the last video. When you refresh this page, it's gone. So now, as you can see, we have a new profile picture, we have new name, new bio. Okay, we didn't actually update the email. We have a new phone number and all that. So from here, you can actually update your profile. Let's go ahead and configure it so you can update your profile from the profile page. So open up the profile page, and we need to locate the button that says update profile. So let's see, let's locate where we kept the button. So it should be, let's say, somewhere here. Okay, this is it. Now we need to populate this field with a URL, just like this. I'm just gonna copy this one, or let's just do it. Let's just hard code it in there instead of trying to copy it. So I'm just gonna come over here, open up double curly brackets with percentage signs, and then I'm gonna call URL. And also I want to take this to the profile update. So I'm going to say profile underscore update, and let's make sure that's what we named it in the urls.py. So in the urls.py, you see it's profile dash updates. Now back to the profile on this profile. Yes, I just want to pass this in like that. So when I refresh this now, I hit update. You see it brings us to this place, and now I can update my profile and everything is working perfectly fine. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for updating the profiles, updating our profile and all that. So the next thing I want to do is resize this image. So for example, if we zoom this in, you'll see that this is a very high quality image, and we don't really necessarily need a high quality image for just a small thumbnail image over here. So let's say I want to open up this image in a new tab. You see it's like very big like this. So what I want to do is just reduce the image, and by reducing this, it's gonna like reduce load times for us when we host our website on the net. So how do we do that? It's very simple. All we need to do is just come over to our models.py, and before that I want to make sure that I close some of this up, and we're gonna come over to our models.py, and just below here what we want to do is very easy. Or let's say we want to do it below the profile. So below the profile, we are just gonna define a save method. So we need a save method, and it's gonna take in self. I think, yeah, it should take in self, and that's pretty much what we want to do. Okay, let's say we want to also give it an ag and keyword ags. So let's say ag and keyword ags, just like that. And let me make sure this is actually what I want, because I'm getting an error over there. Let's see. Okay, let's just get rid of the quags, and we're gonna leave just the ags in there. So just below here now, after making the save function, the next thing I want to do is pass in super and pass in .save. So super.save, and also in this .save I want to also pass in ags again. I'm gonna pass in ags. This time around I think we definitely need to pass in keyword ags. Okay, I think we see what our issue is over here. There's supposed to be just one star, and we need to pass in keyword ags. Yeah, just like that. This time around we're gonna add in ags and another keyword ags. So let's get rid of one of this, and I think that's what we want to do. So let's go ahead and define an image variable, but before that we want to import pillow. So we're gonna say from, let's see, I think it should be from pillow. Yeah, so let's say from pillow we want to import pillow. So from pillow we want to import image, not pillow. So from pillow we imported image. Then we want to define an img variable over here. This img variable we're going to set it to image dot open dot part. Then in here I think there shouldn't be any dots over here. Then in here what we want to do is just pass in the self.image.part. So I'm going to explain what all this does in just a second. Let's follow along. Let's finish it up before I start explaining. So also I want to define the image height. So I want to set the image height to 300, or image.width to 300. Okay, so now what we're checking here is if the image height, okay, let me get rid of this at the back of that. Okay, so what we're checking here is if the image height is greater than 300, and if the image width is greater than 300. And what does that mean? So this is what it means. If the height, like from here to here, if from here to here is greater than 300, and from here to here is greater than 300, then we want to do something. So what do we want to do? The first thing we want to do is define an output size. So let's just say output underscore size, and we're going to set this to 300. So 300, that's what we want, like the actual size that we actually want it to be. Then the next thing we're going to say is define image.thumbnail, and this image.thumbnail, that's where we're going to pass in the output size. Then finally, let's just save this. So we're going to say image.save, and we should pass in again self.image.part. Yeah, just like that. So let's go ahead and test this out and see if it's working. If it's working fine, then I'll explain what everything is actually doing. So let's try updating our profile picture again, and this time around let's choose something like that, and let's just fill in this form quickly. And also that and hit update. So as you can see, it updates this one for us. Now when we right click and click open image in new tab, what do you notice? It's way smaller this time around than this one over here that was large. So you see this one is smaller now, and this one it was large. So what this is going to do is simply just save space for us on the web. Now let me go ahead and explain what I did over here. So the first thing I did was just define a save method that's gonna help me a save function that's gonna help me save whatever I want to do over here. Then the next thing I did was define a variable image after I have imported this over there. So I defined the variable image and I set it to open any image that has been uploaded. So that's what this line of code did. It says image.open. I want it to open an image that is in this part, and after you've opened the image, what's the next thing you want to do? So we want to check if the image.height is greater than 300 and if the image.width is greater than 300. I think that should be or. Yes, it's or instead of and. Now if this requirement is met, if the image.height is greater than 300 and the image.width is greater than 300, now we defined the size that we actually want to use, and we set it to a variable over here called output size, and the size we want to use is 300 by 300 width, 300 height. Then the next thing we did was just define image.thumbnail method that will pass in the output size. So this thumbnail is going to take the size that will pass in over here. Then the last thing we did was just save it with this code over here, and everything is working pretty fine. I think that's what we want to do, and hopefully you guys learned a whole lot of things in this video and actually enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to drop a like on this video, consider subscribing, and also drop a comment, as it would mean the world to me. And I hope I'll see you guys in my next video. Mad love, peace out.